What would happen if the world's last packet of crisps fell into an active volcano?
I think
Yeah.
if it didn't dissolve entirely,
Yeah.
ideally it would be like Pompeii-esque
Oh,
encapsulation,
yeah.
and then people forevermore would understand how much we loved crisps.
Yeah.
I was going to say they would overestimate how much we loved crisps, but then I thought, no, I do love crisps that much.
I'm not sure. I think it would burn up
Oh,
quite,
yeah, undoubtedly.
quite badly.
Yeah.
The reason Pompeii and to a great extent Herculaneum survived is because it was very quickly,
It was on the move.
very quickly coated in ash rather than in lava. I think,
it's good that there's like a right answer to the question.
I would say whoever's taken the last packet of crisps in the world up an active volcano has a lot to answer for.
I agree.
I mean, that should be in
It's
a
a
museum.
dick move,
That should be in the crisp museum. Okay, let's see if there's a better one. Sorry.
Are
sorry
you proud
for
of
AI.
us for neither of us saying it would burn to a
I think this is a good question.
maturity?
This is a good question. I wish I'd come up with this question.
Okay.
And I'm just going to... Because I'm hoping I can just do... I've done books of these things. If I can just get AI to write, like, thousands of questions, there'll be enough in there. What is the most ludicrous thing you've ever done?
Do you hate this job?
I hate this. I want to replace myself with a computer and a I want to replace myself with a robot that I can then fuck. That's... So all I would do, I'll bring the robot in.
Yeah.
The robot will sit down here, will ask the questions. I'll take the robot out the back afterwards and bum it. That's going to be my... That's my payment.
Do you know what I'm saying about we're all weird after the lockdown? You get that, right? Okay.
What is the most ludicrous thing you've ever done in the name of love? That is a computer asking you that question.
Okay.
Have you done many ludicrous things?
Yeah. Pardon? What was that? Comedy roast battle. Fuck you. That was in the name of a paycheck. No, comedy roast battle is a good shout. It broke my poor mother's heart. No, I actually think comedy roast battle was fine. Loads of people watched the clip, and we did get paid.
Yeah.
I'd say actually the most ludicrous thing I've done in the name of love was buy a taxidermied squirrel.
Okay.
I'll explain, but it won't necessarily make it any clearer. I was dating a person who liked taxidermy.
That's good.
Or an initial red flag, whatever way you see it. And I desperately wanted to save the relationship that was sadly falling apart.
Yeah.
And I was in panic mode. You know, where you're like, I gotta do, what can I do to like fix, like I gotta do a big romantic gesture. And I was in Angel and I walked by a place called Get Stuffed. If you know what David Sedaris has written about it, I now know, but I didn't know that at the time, which if I had known, I would have known it's the most fucking expensive taxidermy shop in the world. Bloody hell. Anyway, I go to this place and I see this sign on the door. It's obviously full of dead animals, which is in and of itself, I guess, a good sign that they're selling them, or else what the hell. But I was like, okay. So I stand at the door, and I can see the man at the till, and he can see me, and he doesn't move. So I'm like, there's no one in the shop, there's no one outside the shop. The shop is open, but I can't get in the door.
He wasn't. Was he?
Obviously, my first question is like, is he part of the display? Yes.
It's like the penis
Did
museum,
this used to be a pet shop? What's happening? This man and everyone's dead. I was like, okay. He just stares at me and then goes back to his book. And I was like, this dude, I have to be the first person who's tried to come in here today. You haven't had, nobody else has been this desperate an angel today. I see the sign on the door. It says, ring for appointments.
Oh.
So I ring the number. And in front of me, he picks up the telephone. And he goes, hello? And I say, hiya, I'm the lady outside. And he's like, hello. And I was like, I was wondering if I could come in for an appointment. And he was like, when were you thinking? I was like, now would be nice, if that's cool. And he was like, let me check. And then he goes through his book. I was like, what is this? There's no one in there. Anyway, he eventually opens the door. I come in and he was like, so, what are you looking for? And I was like, look, I'll be honest with you. in like a period mania. I had not like really eaten enough food that day. I was obviously trying to save my relationship. So I said something to the tune of like what I thought was an endearing like, well, my girlfriend really loves like taxidermy and I'm kind of hoping to impress her because we've had a bit of like I overshare is the comic way. And he blinks, basically. He's like, uh-huh. As if anybody else is in there buying taxidermy for a normal reason, right? I was like, you must get this all the frickin' time. And then, so I was like, okay, so I'm obviously thinking like romantic gesture, what'll I get? Sorry, this has become a longer story than I anticipated.
No, I like it,
Okay, so I'm like, thank you. I've never told her before and I'm panicking. But I was like, okay, so like I need to get like a romantic animal. So I'm obviously like, how much are the birds? He's like, I point to, I think an owl, which is what David Sedaris bought. And he was like, oh yeah, that's £1,500. And I'm like, and he wasn't joking. I was like, okay, that's crazy. Obviously that's insane, but also I'm in here, so I'm panicking. So I just start going through smaller animals. And they are all still in like over £1,000. And we're still like, we're talking like, I was like, okay, so like what about like, eventually we get down and he's like, what's your budget? And I was like, I don't know what my budget for like roadkill is. And eventually I was like, she likes squirrels? How much are the squirrels? And that is the smallest animal I can see in my eye line. So if I can't afford a squirrel, I'm fucked. Now I'm about to tell you how much I spent on a squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, the squirrel is £420 plus VAT. Obviously, my instinct is like, do you have a rat or a vole? But I can't see any, so I have to be like, okay. I put it on my credit card. Don't get credit cards, let me say that. And I leave with a squirrel.
Yeah.
And indeed, and the judgmental silence is profound right now. It's heavy. Heavier even than when you said you'd bomb a robot.
Yeah.
They were like, ha, but this
with that.
guy's crazy. So I leave with a squirrel. Spoiler, does not save the relationship. And then we have to have a conversation that's like, do you want the squirrel or should I take the squirrel? I'm like, obviously take the squirrel because otherwise I just have this taxidermy trophy of dead love, you understand, in a rodent. And now I guess I just sort of walk through parks thinking, that's £420.
Yeah.
That's £420. That's £420. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Great.
It's good. I'm sorry it didn't work. It's not my question. That's why artificial intelligence, it knew there was something. I thought that was a good question, but I didn't know it was that good. So that's, I mean, yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, I suppose the skill is stuffing them to look lifelike rather than just grabbing one and taking it in.
Oh, yeah, no,
do you get how much do you get for just a dead squirrel? If you went to that guy and said, I've got a dead squirrel.
So I didn't know, to be fair, the reason I paid a lot for it was it is good taxidermy. Like, the squirrel looked like a squirrel. And then it turns out, obviously, I then, like, deep dove on taxidermies. And there's a taxidermy Twitter account called Bad Taxidermy. Don't know if anybody follows that. Yes. If you don't, you're welcome. And Jesus, like, you can tell why it's a skill because a lot of people do it real badly.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do. But
I haven't personally tried. I didn't start by trying.
I mean,
I just jumped in by it.
I'm still surprised that the demand is, however impressive it
Richard,
is.
there's no demand. There was no one in that shop. I got fucking taken for a ride. Do you understand? I kept that place open for a month, surely.
Yeah. You'd think. I mean, I'd just go and look at a squirrel in the tree.
Or take your break up like a man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I really should have done. Is just been like, I guess if I'm in this taxidermy shop, it really is over. That's the logical thing to do.
Do you think usually people turn up with a thing for him to do?
What, like bring in an animal?
Yeah. I would have thought most of the taxidermy business would be people going, I really love my dog.
Do you think?
I really love my husband. Dave, who used to run Goblins, which is the bar we used to go to in Balham, always said that when he died, he wanted to be taxidermied and put, like, in the bar in a rocking chair. But unfortunately, the bar closed before he died. That's my one regret.
That's a shame,
He may still be alive, I don't know. But I would think that's mainly, it's mainly people going, I've got a cat, I love my cat. can you have it so that I can have it and I just, isn't it? I mean, I've always found it weird. It's a thing that posh people do. Right? If you go to old houses, that, like I've never understood why. Like we went to one in, I think I talked about this. We went to one in the Isle of Arran, Brodick House, and the whole of the corridor is just like 100, 150 stags' heads on the walls. And it's just horrible.
Yeah, no, that sounds horrific.
Why the hell is anyone doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a level of wealth where you just think, I know I'm not allowed to kill people.
Yeah.
So what else can I kill for sport?
And then there's a level of wealth where you go, I
Where
know
you
I'm
are
allowed to kill people and have their head stuffed and somewhere on...
And you can just buy art, just nice art. How nice.